We are live, baby. We are live. We are live, man. What's going on, YouTube? What is going on, YouTube? This is All Things Mets, to where you get your latest Mets media, everything about the Mets on this channel. Yeah, guys, man. It's an exciting time to be a Mets fan right now. The Yankees, definitely yesterday, the going against the Mets, that was a big, huge game. And the Mets won the game. The Mets won the game, man. I hope everybody's feeling good. Hope everybody's, feeling positive, feeling great because I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Honestly, it was a great game for the New York Mets yesterday. And, we got another game today. But when it comes to the Mets, guys, this was a huge game for the Mets to win yesterday. And they did. They finally, Jake Diekman actually closed out the game. He struck out Aaron Judge. That was an amazing thing. And when it comes down to, what happened yesterday, it was just funny, man. It was just hilarious. Like, the vibes of just the game. It was just hilarious. Quintana throwing that curveball, striking out JD Davis, striking out Jemai Jones. Like, the fact that the lineup for the Yankees was really horrible yesterday just made it even better for the Mets because they didn't have to pitch to Judge. They didn't have to pitch to Soto. There's only two good players in this lineup. There's only two good players. Only two good players. So when it comes down to the Mets, when it comes down to the Yankees, this was a big game. And now you're going for the sweep in game two. Game two is not going to be easy. There's no easy sweep when it comes to, the Mets and the Yankees. The Yankees lineup will, what is going on, Yuki? What's going on? Diekman froze Judge. Judge fell asleep at the back. Yeah, I think that was funny, man. Honestly, I think that was hilarious. Seeing Diekman strike out Judge was really funny. I loved it. I love that. Mendoza, I trust Mendoza. This wasn't an easy night yesterday, to deal with the bullpen. It wasn't an easy night. You didn't have Budo, you didn't have Diaz, so it was a lot to maneuver. They had to use the bullpen in a different way. And he used Nunez in a big spot in the seventh inning. He used Ottavino in the sixth. So when it comes down to Mendoza and him using, using those guys in the bullpen, obviously Ottavino, he hasn't been good. But the fact that Jake Diekman closed out the game against the Yankees says a lot about the vibes of the Yankees right now because I was not excited about seeing Jake Diekman versus Aaron Judge. It just it no. Like Yanks had to pitch hit for the leadoff batter, cleanup hitter. Yeah, listen, like the fact that you had JD Davis as the fourth hitter, you had JD Davis as the cleanup hitter, and then you had Jemai Jones as the first leadoff hitter. Like, it says a lot about the lineup. I get that they were facing a lefty. You were facing Quintana yesterday, but when it comes down to the lefties, I get why Aaron Boone chose to use JD Davis, but the fact that he's starting today, JD Davis, he's starting today, it says a lot about the lineup. It really says a lot about the lineup. The Mets overcame the Miami plane flight from hell. Yeah, it did. Like, honestly, it was a really tough flight for the New York Mets. And, getting to New York at 5:15 a.m., I mean, it says a lot about the Mets. It says a lot about their energy. It says a lot about this team, the team chemistry. It's something to be said. Like, you have to really focus on the team chemistry because when it comes down to, everybody just they feel like a team, and that is something that you need in baseball. You need a team. You don't need guys that just are in it for themselves. You want guys that are in it for the team, and play as a team. That is, to me, speaks values, about that. Because they could have came out flat. They could have came out, with no energy, and they didn't. They didn't. Jeff McNeil had a big home run, 2-run bomb, And you got to give respect to Jeff McNeil for what he's doing right now. He's batting 400 in his last 4 games. He's been killing it. He's been killing it. Honestly, ever since he's changed his approach to be a barrel to the ball guy, it's something that, definitely uh let's see what you're saying here. Yeah, Christian Scott. Christian Scott, I definitely will be talking about in a little bit, but definitely the news on him is basically, yeah, he's gonna rest and he's gonna rehab. That's what he's gonna do. Is it the best scenario for Christian Scott? Definitely surgery is still could be on the table. It's not like he's avoided surgery forever, but we will see how this happens, how he recovers, because it's gonna be tough. This is a tough injury. I know that the Mets feel good about it, and Christian Scott feels good about it, and that's good on that, because when it comes down to injuries, you don't want Christian Scott to miss, even you don't want Christian Scott to miss 2025, the whole 2025 season. And if he ends up having a Tommy John surgery or a surgery like that, he's going to be losing a lot of time, as a Met. But yeah, man, going into today's game, I think today's game, um well, Randy, will your friends attack you after the Mets win tonight? No, the Mets won't attack me. I don't need protection. I don't need protection. You know what I'm saying? I am from the Bronx, but definitely I am a Mets fan. I will always be a Met fan. That's just what I am. That's what I always will be. I mean, when it comes down to the lineup, though, guys, I mean, Yankees lineup, you got Torres. Torres is leading off. You got Soto. You got Judge. They're in the same places that they were yesterday. You got Austin Wells in the lineup. So the Yankees are trying to shake it up. The Yankees are trying to shake up the lineup, and I get it. But Austin Wells, is he good against lefties? He's not really that good against lefties. So you know, they want to shake some things up. They don't want to have the rookie again, Carlos Narvaez. It is what it is. You got to shake up the lineup, especially after yesterday. JD Davis is still in the lineup. JD Davis is still in this lineup, and Aaron Boone said he's in this lineup because he's had a good amount of success recently, and I don't know what good amount he's had recently. I don't think he's really been great, but you got LeMahieu batting eighth, and then you got Cabrera. But what I really want to get into, and that's the what's it called? Let me see here. Got the lineup for the Mets. Let's get into that. So we got Lindor, we got Nemo, JD Martinez, Alonso. That's normal. Vientos normal. McNeil, same spot that he was yesterday. And then you got Iglesias, Jose Iglesias making a start at second base, McNeil at right field. I like Jose Iglesias. I love that he's just a professional hitter. He really just wants to be a great, great hitter. He wants to, he just has that like energy, and that's something he's always going to give you a professional at bat, and I love it. I love Jose Iglesias and what he has brought to the Mets. He's brought energy, he's brought professional at bats, and he's brought great defense as well. And then you got Francisco Alvarez hitting eighth, and Francisco Alvarez hitting eighth is really important here because he's been struggling. He hasn't really been, hitting the ball like crazy. He's been striking out, he's been chasing. And when it comes to Francisco Alvarez, that is something that you know, right now he's in a little slump, and I just don't know. Will he break out of the slump? I feel like when it comes to Francisco Alvarez, this is a big game for him. To show his skills. Maybe he will swing the bat. Maybe he'll get some hits. I just hope he does something. I don't know, man. Should the Mets trade Jeff McNeil when he is hot? I think Jeff McNeil right now is killing it. Ever since he's changed his approach, to not be a slap hitter, be a guy that just gets the barrel to the ball. that is something that that's good. It's really really good. But Jeff McNeil, should you trade him? I think that the Mets and David Stearns, I think David Stearns is not going to trade Pete Alonso. He's not going to trade Jeff McNeil. Not this season. Maybe they'll make a trade in the offseason or something like that. Definitely, you can't trade Alonso in the offseason because he's going to be a free agent. But you will be able to trade Jeff McNeil because you have, I think, one more year left or something like that. So when it comes down to Jeff McNeil, I, I don't think that you should trade Jeff McNeil right now because this season the Mets are playing really well and they actually have a chance at the wild card. So I think when it comes down to Jeff McNeil, you know, it's really a tough decision. I personally, do not love Jeff McNeil on the team. The chemistry, I feel the team chemistry, I feel like his attitude sometimes really brings down the team at times. And, he's always trying to change his swing, which is something that I really, really don't like at times. But Jeff McNeil is a guy that, he's been killing it. Honestly, Jeff McNeil has really been killing it and he's woken up. Ever since the All-Star break, guys, he has 4 home runs. He's one of the hottest hitters in all of baseball right now. Ever since he's changed his approach to be a guy that just wants to get the barrel on the ball, that is something that has to be respected, something that you gotta look at. And I personally feel this is a good team. I love the lineup. Like I said, this lineup is the best lineup to me ever since 2015. Sonic is saying, however, the rest is up to David Stearns. Yeah, the rest is up to David Stearns. David Stearns is going to have a lot of hard decisions to make, guys. This is not going to be a easy, a road for David Stearns because I feel personally he's in a tough position. He doesn't know exactly whether to go. He's looking at the team, of course, but if this team continues to get wins and if this team continues to get past, if they go past the Braves, then you have to really really think about what you do with this team because you got Senga coming back, which is huge for the Mets, guys. Kodai Senga is going to be back Friday. The Braves lost the first game, against the Reds today. So they're only 2 games out of the wild card, the first spot of the wild card. That is crazy to even say because the Braves were killing it. The Braves were killing it in the beginning of the season, but injuries have derailed them. Acuna got injured. Now Ozzy Albies is injured. And now Max Fried is injured. There's a lot of injuries that the Braves have right now. I feel personally that this is a good team. This is a really good team. And if this lineup can gel at the right time, the Mets could be really dangerous. I really feel this way. And if Jeff McNeil gets even more hot, if he stays hot, he just adds another element to this lineup. And that is good for the Mets. I feel like this season, you just can't trade Alonso. You can't, not this season, and I feel personally Alonso has been a disappointment. Alonso this season, 19 home runs. He got a couple of hits yesterday, which was good, but he has not been hitting for more power. 19 home runs for Pete Alonso. It's disappointing. It's really disappointing. I never thought that the Mets would take the first spot at the wild card when they were 11 games under 500. Yes, the Mets in May were 11 games under 500. You have to really, look at it like that. Like this is really huge what the Mets are doing, and in August, they're going to be going on the West Coast trip. They're going to be playing a lot of West Coast teams, but I really like this team a lot. I like their chemistry. I like how, it feels like they're never out of a game. Even when they're down, it feels like they're never out of a game. And that is something that in 2022 you saw with the Mets. But this lineup, I love this lineup. I really do. But let's really talk about what the Yankees, what the Mets need to do again. Don't pitch to Judge. Don't pitch to Soto. You don't need to pitch to these guys. There's only two good hitters on this team, and that is Judge and Soto. And the Mets are literally exposing the flaw that the Yankees have right now. They don't have Stanton, they don't have Rizzo, and they're injured. There's a lot of injuries. So when it comes down to the Mets, guys, I feel you don't have to pitch to these guys. You walked you walked Aaron Judge like 4 times yesterday. Good. You don't need to pitch to him. You don't. There's no reason to. Yesterday, the only reason was to, Jake Diekman, he was facing him. And I personally, I liked the gut call to pitch to a Judge in the ninth inning, because you don't want to put the tying runner on second base. And I'm not gonna whatever happens. But that was a great gut call right there by Mendoza. And there's something to be said. There is something to be said about the respect and the job that Mendoza is doing. I love this manager. I love what he has brought. He's just a different type of manager than Buck Showalter. Buck Showalter was a older guy, had more experience, but I feel personally he didn't have a connection, with the younger players that a Mendoza has. And I feel Mendoza has a connection with these younger players and the older players and the veterans. So I love Mendoza. I love what he has done for this team, and I hope he continues it. Guys. But we will see. Let's get into some news, guys. Christian Scott, guys. The news on Christian Scott is Christian Scott, he will rest and he's going to rehab, guys, and he's going to hope to avoid surgery, guys. So that is the route that Christian Scott is going to take. I feel personally Christian Scott, it hasn't been an easy season for him. He got demoted and then he came back up. But I feel Christian Scott is still talented. I feel like he has a lot of confidence. I love his demeanor on the mound, but this guy breaking pitches wise, he just wasn't major league ready. But I really like Christian Scott a lot. I really do. And it is unfortunate that he's injured, and hopefully he does avoid a surgery, because I hope that he does. I don't want Christian Scott to be injured. I don't want Christian Scott to have a surgery that's going to end his career, not his career, but end the season, for him. So when it comes to Christian Scott, I like this guy a lot. I just feel he's not as polished as other major leaguers like a Jose Budo. And that is something to be said. He's not as polished. He's not. And, it is what it is. Let me see what Sonic said here. Absolutely true. Polar Bear is almost not powerful enough, although he didn't win the Derby. Yeah, he didn't win the Derby. He had a horrible appearance in the Derby. He didn't have a good Derby. He literally got taken out in the first round. And then, so that's something to be said. I don't know. 19 home runs. We're in July 24th, guys. July 24th, you hit 19 home runs. Lindor is tied with Alonso for the home run lead. That is crazy to me. Crazy. It's insane, because Pete Alonso's a 40 home run guy, and he's not doing it. He's not doing it this season. I don't know if he's going to get there. He's going to have to get really streaky. He's going to have to hit a lot of bombs, but he's not doing it right now. And listen, he got a couple of hits yesterday, and good for him. But at the end of the day, the power is something that, that is something to be respected with Pete Alonso. It's for many years. You will always have to respect his power. But the fact that he only has 19 home runs in July 24th, it's embarrassing. It really is. I really don't like that he's not hitting for power like he used to. He's not. Let me say Nimmo or Lindor. Alonso will be the most home runs in 2024. Yeah, I personally feel Lindor could pass Alonso. And Nimmo too. I don't know, man. I feel, with these guys, you got to You got to get Alonso. You got to get Alonso going, and hopefully the couple of hits that he got yesterday, he hit the ball yesterday hard, which was great. He hit the ball yesterday hard, I think, in every single at bat. And if Pete Alonso can get hot, that is going to be good for the Mets. They're not going to trade him. It is what it is at the end of the day. I don't feel that you're going to get so much if you trade Pete Alonso right now. I don't think so. I really don't think so. And let's see what you say. Oh yeah. Sevy, guys, let's talk about Sevy. He's teaching Luis Gil a slider. Yeah. Can we trust Sevy? Yeah, we can trust Sevy. Listen, Severino is friends with the Yankees. He's friends with the former Yankees. He's in group chats, and stuff. And listen, Luis Severino is gonna have his personal stuff with those guys. And if he wants to teach Luis Gil something, it is what it is. Let him teach whatever he wants to teach. Yeah, I didn't. No, Yuki, not even Bader. Not even Bader was the worst running mistake. That wasn't even the worst. Did you see the hit that what was it? Tyrone Taylor got yesterday? Tyrone Taylor hit almost a bomb out of the stadium, and he and McNeil, misjudged it and only ran up and got one base. And what I really want to talk about, guys, is the slander. The slander with Tyrone Taylor. Tyrone Taylor is horrible. Tyrone Taylor is not good. Tyrone Taylor, bench him. Get him out of here. Tyrone Taylor isn't good. I disagree. Listen. It's baseball. You're gonna have ups and downs, but Tyrone Taylor is I like him a lot. He's a good player. He's been really good for this team. He's a plus defender in the outfield. He can hit for power. He can hit you a couple of hits. Yes, he can strike out. Yes, but he has the best sprint speed on the team. There's something to be said about Tyrone Taylor. And I don't want to hear Tyrone Taylor, oh, get this guy out of here. Get DJ Stewart out of here. Get DJ Stewart out of here. That's who I want. DJ Stewart needs to get the hell out of this team because he hasn't been good. He hasn't been good. DJ Stewart is not doing nothing for this team. He's just not. And I personally feel that Tyrone Taylor, yes, he could struggle. Yeah, like he's gonna struggle. He wasn't a starting, right fielder every single time. Marte was the starting right fielder. Tyrone Taylor was a bench player. But every time Tyrone Taylor came in, he would do something productive. He would get you a hit. He would get you a great catch. Tyrone Taylor is a guy that there's a reason why David Stearns got him. There's a reason. And I love it. I love Tyrone Taylor. Listen, he could strike out in a big situation like he did yesterday, and I still would respect him because he's a good hitter. He's a guy that's going to hit the ball hard. Yes, he could strike out a couple of times. Listen, it's up and down season. It's baseball. You think Tyrone Taylor is going to be the hottest hitter in all of baseball? You think he's going to carry this team? He's not. He's not. So I personally feel, Tyrone Taylor is a guy that I love him on this team. He needs to stay on this team. But Marte, when he comes back, obviously he's going to be the starting right fielder. And today, Tyrone Taylor is going to be starting at center field. He gives you defensive versatility, and he's great. He's really good in the outfield. He's one of the best outfielders that the Mets have. It's Bader and Tyrone Taylor. They're the best, and Nimmo. They're the best outfielders. So I feel that Tyrone Taylor, let's give him a chance. Let's keep, let's not just slander him and say, oh, get him out of here. No, get DJ Stewart out of here. And I feel personally, what's the point of having Beatty in the minors right now? He's hitting bombs and, maybe bring him up. Maybe bring him up and have him pitch hit. I'm sure he'll do better than DJ Stewart right now. I just, I had to talk about that. I have to talk about Tyrone Taylor because I don't like the slander that, he's getting on Twitter or whatever from the Met fans. I feel Tyrone Taylor is a good player. Tyrone Taylor is a good player. He gives you a lot, Yes, he's going to struggle. He wasn't an everyday player, but Yeah, I mean, but this guy Jeff McNeil, man, he's right now the hottest player in baseball. He's really the hottest hitter in baseball. He's been killing it, guys. I think Jeff McNeil, if he can get hot, if he can get really hot, he's not. I don't think he's gonna be getting you a home run every single game, but if he can be a good hitter and get you some gap to gap doubles, triples, or whatever. I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. I don't feel that, the Mets are going to really make crazy trades, but there's something to be said about what the Mets do. What do the actual, we'll see. We'll see at the end of the day. But this is the lineup for today's game, guys. We got Alvarez in the lineup. And how are we feeling about Alvarez right now? Because I know he's been struggling. He didn't get to start yesterday, and he's batting eighth today. But I feel that I hope that he gets going. He gets going again offensively, because when Alvarez gets going offensively, he helps the offense so much. He's a big part of the offense, and I hope he can get going. Yuki said, trade deadline 1 week away. How would you feel if the Mets do nothing? How would I feel if the Mets do nothing? It, it's a tough one because I don't know exactly what move. Well, I know that the Mets need bullpen help. Okay, and Phil Maton has been really good in the bullpen, and I'm happy that David Stearns got him. He gave us another option in the bullpen, which is great. So definitely there's something to be said about David Stearns and how he just picks guys, and he reads the market, and he reads the baseball players, and he pays attention. It's something to be said about what David Stearns is doing. And Phil Maton has been really good in the bullpen. But when it comes down to what the Mets do, how would I feel if they do nothing? I wouldn't be happy if they do nothing. I feel personally they need to get a reliever. They need to get at least one or two more relievers. If you can't get two relievers, get one reliever. I'm not gonna say you need a guy that's gonna be a high crazy reliever like Mason Miller. That is not happening. The Mets are not making that major trade like a Mason Miller trade. That's not gonna happen. But what I will say is that the Mets do need bullpen help. They really do. And they need rotation help as well. And they need an outfielder. They really do need a lefty outfielder that can hit for power. And I don't know who exactly that is. I really don't know exactly who that is. I don't think it's Jesse Winker. I don't think it's Mark Canna. I don't think it's those guys right now. And honestly, you signed Jackie Bradley Jr. I don't think it's Jackie Bradley Jr. either. I think the Mets, David Stearns, I trust whatever he does, honestly. This guy, David Stearns, is leading us. This guy is our leader, guys. He's the president of the New York Mets, and I trust him, and I put all my trust in whatever he does, and we'll see what he does, but I don't feel like they should do nothing. I feel like they have to make some moves, but make minor moves. Don't make crazy moves. Don't make like those moves that you made in 2015. Don't trade high prospects like a Jet Williams, a Luis Angel Acuna. Don't do that. I would not. I don't want that. I don't want that. But if you can trade lower level prospects, and if you can get maybe a bullpen pitcher, and if you can maybe stack up some guys, I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't feel like the Mets should do nothing. I really don't. Alvarez is the king of New York. Yeah, Alvarez is, he's young. He's only 22 years old. That's something that we really forget every single day. He's only 22, guys. He's 22 years old. He's 20. It's amazing how young he is. Amazing. And I love Alvarez. He can struggle or whatever, but this guy's a threat at the plate anytime. And, right now he's chasing. He's striking out a lot, but he'll get out of it. I have a lot of confidence in him, and his passion for baseball can't be taught. He loves baseball. I love the way he catches the game. Yes, he could make some bad throws sometimes for sure, but he has the most pickoffs for a catcher in the MLB right now. So that's something to be respected when it comes to Francisco Alvarez. Can the Mets add Trevor Bauer for the bullpen? The Bauer will work for free. Listen, I don't feel Trevor Bauer will ever come to the Mets. I really don't feel like that will ever happen. And the fact that, he, basically did what Yamamoto did, and he got us to make a contract offer, and then he went to the Dodgers. I don't want Trevor Bauer. I just for that fact. I don't want him for that. And listen, it is what it is. But yeah, guys, we are 30 minutes away, guys, from game time. Listen, I feel that the Mets have to win this game, and you're going against Garrett Cole. This is not going to be an easy game for the Mets, guys. You can look at the lineup for the Yankees and say, oh, this is going to be an easy game. No, I feel personally that Garrett Cole, he's been on his game lately. Luis Gil was on his game yesterday, and Garrett Cole he's one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. There's something to be respected about Garrett Cole. Now, will the Mets get to him again like they did in the last start? I don't know. I think it's going to be tough. But what I will say, guys, and there's something to be said, Mark Vientos has been really, really impressive. Mark Vientos has been really, really impressive. I love the way he's been swinging the bat. This guy is such a threat, and he's really proven to be a really great addition to this lineup every single day that he's in this lineup. And Yuki is saying, would you like to see Jazz Chisholm Jr. or Luis Robert Jr. in Queens? I personally would not like to see Jazz Chisholm because he strikes out a lot. He strikes out to me too much. And he's always trying to hit a home run. When you look at Jazz Chisholm, I don't feel like he has a high average right now. He strikes out a lot. Yes, he has some power, of course, but definitely he's trying to hit a home run. That's the only thing I really don't like about him, and it is what it is. But Luis Robert Jr., I like Luis Robert Jr. He has a good arm. He's a good outfielder. He has a good bat. He's still young as well. So there's something to be said about Luis Robert Jr., but I feel like the Mets are not going to make a crazy, crazy trade like we think, you probably think that they are going to make. They're not. That's not going to happen. Not this year. Not this season. If David Stearns and Steve Cohen read the market right, then you realize, listen, this season is not the season to go all in. I feel personally it's not, but you never know with what the Mets could do. It's David Stearns is his team. It's whatever he wants to do. If he wants to trade a Jet Williams, if he wants to trade a Luis Angel Acuna, it is what it is. I personally don't feel like they should trade, those guys at the moment. I feel like if you don't want to make a big of a trade that you put the Mets back in the future. You set us back in the future. You set the Mets back in the future. But we'll see what the Mets do. Honestly, they have a lot of decisions that they have to make. And David Stearns, this is a hard job that he has, man. It's so hard. It really is. So we'll see what the Mets do. At this point. But yeah, you don't pitch to Judge. You don't pitch to Soto. You pitched to Soto yesterday. They got him out a couple of times, and that was cool. But definitely Judge. You don't pitch to Judge. You don't pitch. There's no reason to pitch to Judge. If there's nobody on base, he might get the Barry Bonds treatment. You just walk him, honestly, because what's the point of pitching to Aaron Judge? There's no point of it. There's no point. Yeah, there's really no point of pitching to Aaron Judge. But this is a huge game for the Mets, guys. Sean Manaea, hopefully he comes to play. Hopefully he comes, pitching good. He didn't have a good start in his last start against, was it Miami, I believe? But maybe it wasn't Miami. Maybe it was another team. But I feel like the Mets, there's just a lot to be excited about right now. Like it's just a lot to be excited about because you got Sean Manaea. You got Quintana, you got Severino. Severino has been pitching really, really good, and he's going to go in tomorrow's game. And tomorrow we will be going live at 6 p.m. again. So stay tuned. Again, 6 p.m. We will be going live again. Randy Soto hands look hurt. Should the Yanks trade Soto at the deadline? The Yanks are not going to trade Juan Soto. There's no point of trading Juan Soto. You literally traded for him to get to the playoffs, to get to the World Series. There's no way in hell that they're going to trade for Juan Soto at the deadline, unless they were sellers. And that's not going to happen. They're still a good team. The Yankees are still a good team. They're going to get Stanton back. Maybe they'll get Dominguez. Maybe but I feel like the Yankees they were really lighting the world on fire in the beginning of the season, like they really were, and Clay Holmes was really doing great, and the bullpen was great. The Yankees look like the best team in all of baseball. And now, ever since the injuries and the bullpen, they don't look like the best team in all of baseball right now. But I'm not sure. There's no way that Brian Cashman is going to trade Juan Soto. It's just not going to happen. There's just no point of it. Like, you got him for a reason. You got him to take you to the promised land. That is the point of getting Juan Soto in the offseason. So that's not going to happen. But we will see. We'll see what the trade deadline. I think there's going to be a lot of moves this season. I think Garrett Crochet might be traded. I think Eric Fed might be traded. I think there's going to be a lot of trades. Luis Robert could be traded. So when it comes down to the trade deadline, there's going to be a lot of moves to be made. And I feel like the Mets are not going to go crazy. They're not going to buy high, but maybe they'll buy low, or maybe they'll get a middle of the, a middle reliever or something like that, middle caliber reliever. We will see. At the end of the day, it's baseball. You never know what happens. But, man, I love what this team is doing right now. I feel like in May, there was a lot of, people that were, being negative with the Mets. And I feel I was definitely not feeling the Mets lineup, when Francisco Alvarez was out the lineup and JD Martinez was not in this lineup. There was a lot to not love, with this lineup. But with JD Martinez and the fact that Mark Vientos, ever since he's just come into this lineup, he's been crazy. Really, he's been really, really good. Vientos is someone that you gotta respect. You gotta respect Mark Vientos because he's been really, really, really good. And ever since Beatty got demoted and Vientos has come up, Vientos has taken the job and ran with it. And Vientos has put himself in a position where he's looking like a piece for the Mets in this foundation. And I love what he has brought to the table. I was not the biggest fan of Mark Vientos, and that wasn't really fair because the Mets really didn't give him a real chance. Buck Showalter didn't give him a lot of starts. So I like this kid. I like Mark Vientos, and this guy is proving to be a dangerous hitter for real. But I mean, with this lineup today, guys, Lindor, I hope he gets a really good game here. I want Lindor to, have a good game here. I want Nimmo. Nimmo seems to be struggling, a little bit. He did not really get a lot of hits in, the Miami Marlins series, but we'll see. Did Ottavino and Diekman scare you fucking shitless yesterday? Listen, yes, they fucking did. Yes, they did. Ottavino, I wasn't as scared with because it was the 6th inning, and it is what it is. But I feel that Diekman in the 9th inning, that was very, very scary. Watching him pitch to Judge, watching him pitch to Soto, watching him close the 9th inning, that was crazy scary. And we've seen that Diekman has blown saves. We've seen that Diekman has, blown games for the Mets. So there was a reason to be scared when it comes to those guys. And listen, I feel personally the bullpen, though, was in a bad position yesterday. We didn't have Budo, we didn't have Diaz. We had Nunez, but we had to they used Nunez in the seventh inning in a big spot. DJ LeMahieu is one of the worst players in baseball, making all that money, can't even hit, can't field. I don't know what's going on with DJ LeMahieu. DJ LeMahieu, his first year as a Yankee was really, really good. But ever since that, he's been completely horrible. DJ LeMahieu was a guy that can hit you, over 300, get you a gap-to-gap hitter, maybe get you a couple of home runs. But this guy hit his first home run 2 days ago, and I feel personally DJ LeMahieu, this guy is really losing it. I don't know what's going on with this guy. It's crazy to me how bad he's fallen, because he's really fallen. He's fallen, but he's falling so bad. And DJ LeMahieu, I don't know. I'm just not. It's crazy to me that he has fallen so bad. Like, it's mind blowing, to be honest, because he was a good hitter. He was an all-star with Colorado. This guy was a good hitter. I don't get it. I don't get why he's so bad now. He was a guy that can be a really good hitter and, take the ball the other way, not strike out a lot. But now this guy is a shell of himself. And it's embarrassing. It's so embarrassing what DJ LeMahieu has become for the New York Yankees. It really is. He's really become an embarrassment. And JD Davis, let's talk about JD Davis yesterday. Thank God he struck out yesterday so many times, because he was in big spots, and he struck out. And great that the Mets, took advantage of him. Quintana was smart with that curveball. He kept chasing the curveball, So I think JD Davis, LeMahieu, these guys are struggling. These guys are not good. But LeMahieu is embarrassing. I really think he's embarrassing. But Francisco Alvarez is only 22 years old, but is he going to get out this slump? I feel personally that I hope he will. Because he's chasing the ball right now. He's striking out a lot. He's hitting pop-ups. He's not really hitting the ball that hard right now. And, he's only 22. He had thumb surgery. I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but definitely, there's going to be some growing pains with this guy. He's only 22. And that is something to be really, respected. He's only 22. This guy's not 27. He's not 26. He's not 25 like Soto, so it's crazy to me that Soto's 25. It really is. Let's see, you're so happy that we didn't sign Greg Counsell over Mendoza. Yeah, Mendoza, man. Mendoza's making all the right moves right now. He's killing it as a manager. There's something to be said about the job that he's doing, because he's really doing a great job with the New York Mets. And the chemistry that this team has to do with Mendoza, has to do with the manager, has to do with the trust that these guys have in him. And I love what he has become. Honestly, his first job as a major league manager, doing what he's doing, it's something to be respected. He doesn't sugarcoat stuff. He doesn't, he stands up for his guys. He has a good connection, really good connection with the young players, great connection with the veteran players. I love it. I love the connection. But is Alvarez going to break out the slump? I don't know, man. I hope that he will. He's getting the start tonight. He's hitting eighth. There's something to be said about Francisco Alvarez hitting eighth in this lineup. And the Mets know. Mendoza knows that he's struggling right now. He's struggling. Francisco Alvarez is a top of the, a guy that can hit you fifth, sixth, in the lineup, but he is an eighth right now. So he's struggling, and Mendoza knows he's struggling. And let's hope that he can get out of the slump, because he needs to get out the slump. Because once he does, you saw what the Mets were doing in June when Francisco Alvarez was killing it, with JD Martinez, with this lineup, they were just killing it. Everybody was gelling together. And if they can go on another run like that, oh, we will see, man. So yeah, man, this is the lineup for tonight. So yeah, we got some different changes for the Yankees lineup. We got Cabrera in the lineup actually, Orlando Cabrera. So that's good. And Verdugo got a hit yesterday against the Mets. Of course, because a guy that has been struggling gets a hit, of course, against the Mets. Volpe is batting fifth. This is a weird spot for Volpe in the line. I don't understand why you put Volpe in the fifth spot. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. Volpe should be your leadoff hitter. I don't know why Volpe is a guy that can steal you bases, get on base. Why is he in the fifth spot? I don't like Volpe in the fifth spot. I feel Volpe should be your leadoff hitter, and I don't know what Aaron Boone is doing. I don't know what he's doing because he's not making this team. He's not making the lineup any better. Volpe moved to lead off and is hitting his average dropped 60 points. I get it. But he's still a guy that can get on base. He's still an on base guy. I get his average dropped so low, 60 points, like you said, but this guy's a guy that can steal you bases. Why is he hitting fifth? I don't agree with, even if he's struggling, I think Volpe should be hitting one. I really do. That's how I feel. But yeah, man. I feel personally this is a big game for the Mets. You're going against Garrett Cole. The Mets beat up on Garrett Cole. You're going for the sweep. It's game two. You're going for the sweep. We will see what happens with these guys. I just don't know what the Mets are going to do against Cole. I really feel like Cole has been on his game. He had a really good start against the Baltimore Orioles in his last game. So I think you gotta definitely respect Garrett Cole, because he's one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. When he's on his game, he's one of the best. And he got an injury. He didn't have a spring training. He came back quickly, and I just hope that Senga, doesn't have the same result that, Cole had, and that was struggle, have really bad starts, when he first came back. I hope that he, because Senga's gonna be huge, really huge for this team, man. Really huge. I mean, we'll see though. We'll see what this team does. We'll see how the game plays out. We're getting closer to game time. I love this team, man. I love the chemistry. I love what's going on with this team. Um, I didn't like their showing in Miami, but I feel that if they just continue to win games, they're gonna put a lot of pressure on the Braves. The fact that they're even 2 games away from the Braves is amazing. It's amazing. It's something to be respected. They were 11 games under 500 in May. 11 games. Crazy to me. Crazy to me how they went on that run. And man, you can call it grimace. You can call it the OMG, whatever you want to call it, man. But we enjoyed it. We loved it. And it was a ride. It was a ride. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how this game plays out. I'm gonna be on here for like 2 more minutes. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, this is a huge game. Hopefully the Mets can get the sweep. You got game two. This is a big series for the New York Mets, to win. And sweeping the Yankees would be huge, bragging rights in New York, of course. But man, like if we should hope to win this game. You're going against Garrett Cole, though, which is not going to be easy. But I love the Mets. I love the lineup, and I love the pressure that this lineup could put up on a pitcher. And yeah, at the end of the day, I really like the lineup. I like this team. I feel like there's moves to be made. There's definitely moves to be made. David Stearns knows that there are moves to be made. Maybe not major crazy moves, like they did in 2015 when they traded for Cespedes for Michael Former, or they got a Kelly Johnson or Juan Uribe. I don't, you're not probably going to see those moves, but definitely David Stearns is going to make some moves. He's already making moves. David Stearns is already working the market. He just got Jackie Bradley Jr. He got Phil Maton. I trust David Stearns. I trust him. I really do trust David Stearns, and he should be respected. He's really good. Um, but we will see. We'll see what this team does. Man, you guys are awesome. Thank you for coming to the stream. Hopefully, we have a great game today. Yeah, man. Get some good dinner. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy the game. And yeah, let's go Mets, baby. LFGM for life. You know the vibes, Yuki. You know the vibes, Met fans. Have a good one. I am out of here. I want the Mets to get Adolis Garcia from the Rangers at the deadline. Adolis Garcia, man, he's been struggling, man. He's really been struggling. But, I'll take Adolis Garcia, definitely. A power bat, I'll take him. And a good outfielder, I'll take him. I'm going to get out of here, guys. Have a good one. Stay blessed.